Hello, happy Thursday, December the 15th. We are just about a week and a half from Christmas Day, from the big day. It is the holiday season, it's the middle of December. And of course, being the middle of the month means that we have just received a few hours ago Criterion's update on titles that they're putting out for the upcoming 3 months here. So in this case, the Criterion Collection has announced their March 2023 titles. So I was really looking forward to this announcement today because I wanted to know how is the Criterion Collection going to round out the first quarter of 2023. So we're going to talk about these new titles tonight. But man, there is so much going on in the world of physical media, the world of entertainment, the world of movies. And I'd be very interested to hear what you all think about some of this stuff going on. We're not going to be long tonight. I'm going to make this a pretty short and sweet stream tonight because I've got to actually switch gears here in a little bit and pack a bag here. We're going to get ready to hop in the car tomorrow and head down south, down Interstate 75 to the Sunshine State, to Florida for the weekend to see some family and friends. We typically do that the week before Christmas, see some family down there in Florida before coming back home to spend Christmas up here in Georgia. So, hope you are all doing well tonight. Hope you've had a great week. Hope you're looking forward to wrapping up the week tomorrow, putting a nice big red bow on the week tomorrow and head into the last weekend before Christmas. And let me know if you guys are wrapping up your Christmas shopping. But there's a ton that's going on in the world of entertainment. Of course, we got the news today about in the DC cinematic universe, Henry Cavill not returning as Superman. So I know a lot of people are very unhappy about that. And so if you guys have any thoughts on that, I know this is a Criterion stream, so we'll talk about the Criterion titles, but that's probably one of the biggest pieces of news in the world of entertainment with James Gunn doing his own I guess a sort of a reboot of the DC cinematic universe. And I guess Cavill is not in those plans for the Superman character. So if you have a point of view on that, let me know in the comments section. And also, I've been hearing about this film called Babylon that is directed by Damien Chazelle, who is the director of La La Land, which I loved. So I'm kind of getting excited about this Babylon movie. It sounds really interesting. I read on IMDb the premise for it. I know it has Brad Pitt in it. And I think I want to say Margot Robbie, but I'll have to look it up. But let me know if you all plan to see that the weekend of Christmas. So it's coming out, I think, on December 23rd, so a week from tomorrow. So I think that movie is getting a lot of buzz. So let me know what you think about that. But primarily tonight, we are here to talk about the March 2023 titles that have been announced from the Criterion Collection. So these are the titles coming out from Criterion in the month of March. So as a quick rundown, we're getting four titles releasing from Criterion for the month of March. So we're getting one new 4K Ultra HD release. So I'm always looking to see, are we getting any new 4K titles? And we are. We're getting an upgrade of an existing Blu-ray edition in the Criterion Collection. So this is a title that's already in the Criterion Collection on Blu-ray. It's now going to get a 4K Ultra HD release in the month of March. And we're getting three new Blu-ray releases. So looking forward to talking about those. Three of the titles are from the United States. One title is from Hong Kong. We have a new filmmaker, a new director coming into the Criterion Collection. So I always like to see, are we getting new 4K titles? Are we getting new filmmaking voices in the collection? So it looks like Criterion has checked both of those boxes this month. So let's go ahead and dive into these titles. But before we dive into the titles, I do want to see who all is out here. Hope you are all having a wonderful, wonderful Thursday evening. I just sort of blew in from some errands here, running my son to a couple of appointments and just getting back in and wanted to hop on here a little early. Appreciate your flexibility for being able to join a little early because I'm trying to wrap things up so we can get some bags packed and ready for tomorrow. So we have, hello everyone, an internet user. Hope you're doing well. Urban Excursion, Inland Empire, can't wait for March. Yeah, there's been a lot of buzz around that title for the last several months. This title has been rumored for quite some time. I think pretty much all this year that at some point it was being announced from Criterion. So we finally got that announcement. However, it didn't contain everything I thought, but let's get to that. We'll get to that. Woo, Inland Empire, let's go, young Kofta. Yeah, that's one we'll definitely talk about. Finally, so excited for Inland Empire. I'm going to blind buy. This is Raul. It more than likely, but I'm excited to get to this film. Awesome. Adrian saying hello. Hello, Adrian. Hope you're doing well. Good evening, Mr. KB. Hope you're doing well, KB. Hope you had a good vacation and saw your live with Floyd House with Big Chris Floyd. So that was awesome. Hope you had a great vacation. Magnitude Rev, yeah, I'll be seeing Babylon. That film gives a lot of Wolf of Wall Street mixed with The Great Gatsby. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I was on IMDb. I just happened to look it up. I've heard a few people talking about it, so I'm gonna probably check out Babylon. So we'll see. Cole Trini says, "Hey James, hopefully we'll be getting more John Woo." I would agree that would be pretty awesome. I'm also looking forward to Mildred Pierce in the John Woo flick. Okay, awesome. My Thursday is good, studying for grad finals. Good luck. Hope you ace those finals. Ace the finals. 100s across the board. Let's see. The Killer and Hard Boiled, please. Yep. Nick says, really hoping the John Woo announcement opens the door for Hard Boiled and The Killer getting new restoration soon. Yeah, well, we shall see. Those are current, I believe, DVD editions in the Criterion Collection. So we shall see. Island 007100 saying good evening all. Good evening to you as well, Island. And thank you for the observation that you shared about these announcements. And we'll talk about that as well as we get into these titles. So thank you all for joining tonight, those who are on here so far. Let's go ahead and let's saunter over here to the Criterion site. Let's not waste any time here. Let's go ahead and jump right into the folks from New York, up in New York City. As you see here, the March titles have been announced. That's what we always like to see. We love seeing that. Pre-order now? Maybe we will. Let's see what's in there. Of course, we see here this wonderful picture here. I'm in the process. I think this is from Infernal Affairs. I'm in the process of watching those films as we speak. So, but yeah. So here's a rundown of what is coming up now that we've got all the December releases are out. Speaking of which, I'll make a quick diversion to that. Let me talk a little bit about the December releases. So, so of course we've had the Michael Haneke trilogy that has come out a week ago, as well as 3 films by Mai Zetterling. I plan on picking up both of these titles probably in the February or March flash sale, or perhaps the July sale. So those will be picked up sometime next year. But these are the titles I picked up this past week: The Velvet Underground by Todd Haynes and Cooley High. I've had a chance to watch both of these, and I've gone through the supplements and soaked in both of these titles. And I did a review for The Velvet Underground that went out today on this channel. And folks, if you're into rock documentaries, I simply cannot recommend this one enough. This is The Velvet Underground. It's from Todd Haynes. It is absolutely fantastic. This, along with The Last Waltz, are 2 of the tentpole rock documentaries released from the Criterion Collection this year, and they are both very much well worth it. Now, The Last Waltz came out on 4K Ultra HD. The Velvet Underground came out on Blu-ray, and this is one absolutely fantastic edition that I highly, highly recommend. This is one of those few editions that I can truly say is worth it at full price. If you ended up paying the full $40 for this release in the Criterion Collection, perfectly fine. This is one of those rare releases that I can say that about. It is absolutely spectacular. And then Cooley High, I plan to put a review out on this edition. This is a film from Michael Schultz from 1975. I plan to put a review out on this channel for Cooley High on tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. This is also an excellent edition and a great way for Criterion to close out 2022. It's been a really, really good year. So those are the titles that have come out in the month of December. So quick recap on those. But now let's get to what's coming soon. Now, here we have Baron Munchausen coming out in January, Imitation of Life, the Lars von Trier's trilogy. This is a burial. It's not a burial, it's a resurrection. So some very interesting titles coming out in January. Of course, for me, February, the highlight is the Three Colors trilogy and Dazed and Confused, both coming out on 4K, along with Romeo and Juliet. Very interested in those titles. And I'm also interested in these two films by Marguerite Duras. So there's a lot that's coming out in the first couple of months that I'm really fascinated to checking out, as well as, of course, Hollywood Shuffle, the Robert Townsend film. Now we fast forward to the month of March, and we got four titles coming out, starting with this title right here on March the 7th. So we have, they're spreading the love across the entire month. One title coming out March the 7th, Tuesday, March the 7th. Another title coming out March the 14th. One title coming out the 21st of March, and then wrapping up the month with the last title coming out on the 28th. But they're starting out with a bang with this upgrade from the Blu-ray edition of Mildred Pierce. This is the film from director Michael Curtiz. I do have this edition in the Criterion Collection. It's spine number 860 in the Criterion Collection. And it is one fantastic edition. This is a really great film starring Joan Crawford and starring Anne Blythe she is ice cold in that role. Anne Blythe. Joan Crawford wins an Oscar, her only Oscar for this movie. And it is a fantastic film from Michael Curtiz. Of course, Michael Curtiz also has another film in the Criterion Collection, The Breaking Point, which is spine 889. So this is another really nice addition from this director. Michael Curtiz is probably best known for another small film that some of you might have heard of called Casablanca. This is the 4K edition of Casablanca that I'm looking forward to popping in the player and watching all the way through. But I've heard nothing but good things about the 4K transfer in this new edition for Casablanca. So he's the director of Casablanca, the director of The Breaking Point, and the director of this fantastic film, Mildred Pierce, starring Joan Crawford. Mildred Pierce is a melodrama. It stars Joan Crawford as Mildred, a single mother hell-bent on freeing her children from the stigma of economic hardship. And of course, her daughter is played by Anne Blythe, who is absolutely diabolical in this film. You have to see this film to believe this character. It is so well acted by both Joan Crawford and Anne Blythe. They are both masterful in this movie. So I highly recommend it. This is getting a 4K Ultra HD edition from the Criterion Collection in the month of March. It's going to be a 2-disc edition. So it's being offered 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray still, and still coming with a DVD offering. It's coming out on Tuesday, March the 7th. It's going to include a 4K digital transfer with uncompressed monaural soundtrack. Now, here's the piece that we need to pay close attention to in terms of keeping an eye on what's gonna, what the final product will be here. It says one 4K Ultra HD disc of the film presented in HDR and one Blu-ray with the film and special features. So it says HDR, doesn't say Dolby Vision. So that leads me to think this is probably going to be HDR10, not Dolby Vision. But again, continue to refer to the Criterion site for all the official information. Don't know if anything will be updated in that regard. But as it says right now, it's just saying HDR. The good news is we're getting HDR. So even if it's not Dolby Vision, if it's at least HDR10, very good. Love to see these black and white films restored in 4K with some nice HDR. Really helps to just take that grayscale to the next level and beautifully presenting these black and white films on the 4K format. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with this film. Of course, this Blu-ray edition came with a new 4K digital restoration. So it sounds to me like they are going to use that same 4K digital restoration in this 4K disc because they say 4K digital transfer. They don't indicate that it's new. So they're probably using that same 4K restoration that they did a few years ago for the original Blu-ray release of Mildred Pierce. So all the features, I think, are the same. So that's in keeping with what they've done with other, upgrades of existing Blu-ray editions is just carrying over all the special features from the Blu-ray edition that's already out there and just giving us a 4K disc, in this case with HDR. So I am definitely looking forward to making this upgrade. I'm probably going to wait for the July Barnes& and Noble sale to make that upgrade, but this is an upgrade I definitely plan to do for Mildred Pierce. It is an absolutely extraordinary film, and I'm looking forward to this title. But let me know what you think about Mildred Pierce. Are y'all looking forward to it? Have y'all seen this movie? What do you think about it? Now, Mildred Pierce happens to be, for me, the only film of these four that are coming out in March of 2023 that I've seen. I have not seen the other films, so I'm familiar with Mildred Pierce. These other three films are going to be some discoveries for me, starting with coming out the week after a film from John Woo is this film here, Last Hurrah for Chivalry. Now, this is a film from 1979. It's from John Woo, has a very interesting, I really like the art on this cover. I really am digging that art on this cover. But it says here, before he became known as the master of the bullet-riddled heroic tragedy, John Woo sharpened his trademark themes and kinetic action choreography with this whirlwind wuxia spectacle. Unaware they are caught in a deadly game of deception, a pair of rambunctious swordsmen, Wai Pak and Damien Lau, join forces to help a nobleman, Lao Kong, in his quest for vengeance. Paying thrilling homage to his mentor, martial arts innovator Chang Che, Wu delivers both bravura, swordplay, set pieces, and bloodstained interrogation of the meaning of brotherhood and honor in a world in which loyalty is bought and sold. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have never seen this movie before. I'm really looking forward to checking it out. Now, one thing to note about this is coming out on Blu-ray. It's coming out March the 14th, but just notice here that there is only being offered in Blu-ray. No DVD option available. And Island 007-100, thank you for the heads up on this, but it does seem like with these newer titles coming out, it seems like the DVD options are becoming fewer and fewer. It seems to be a trend that we'll want to keep an eye out for. And this is one of those examples. So this is a new edition in Criterion. It's coming in at Spine 1174. It's 1979 Hong Kong. And John Woo, of course, has these other titles in the collection, including Hard Boiled and The Killer, and they're both on DVD. Let's see if are they still available. Oh, interesting. So Hard Boiled is out of print. How about The Killer? Is The Killer available? It's out of print too. So yeah, interesting. So John Woo does have those other titles in the collection, so he's not new to Criterion, but those titles are out of print. So I think it will be interesting to see, are we going to get any upgrades of those two films? So we'll have to be on the lookout for that. But we are getting this new title, Last Hurrah for Chivalry. It has what seems to be a little light on the features. We get a 2K digital restoration, get 5.1 surround DTS master audio. That's nice. We're getting some alternate English dubbed tracks. Okay, for those who may want to listen to an English dub track. I'm not really opposed to that sometimes, especially if I'm sort of playing a movie in the background and want to be able to be able to understand what's being said without having to read subtitles. That's at least an option for people. Audio interview with director John Woo. That should be interesting. And then there's a new interview with Grady Hendrix, who is the author of this book. And of course, you have a trailer, you have subtitles, and an essay by a scholar. So pretty light in terms of the features. We are getting a 2K digital restoration. Looks like a pretty nice audio mix. Getting a nice interview with John Woo. So that appears to perhaps be an archival interview, perhaps. It doesn't say new interview. So, seems to be a little bit light on the features, but it looks like a very fascinating film to add to the collection. Let's just play a couple seconds of this trailer here to see what.
Bố anh nhé.
Okay, interesting. So let's definitely keep an eye out for Last Hurrah of Chivalry by John Woo. So let me stop sharing here and let's go back into the comments here and see what you all are saying. Let's see. Hunter, how are you doing? Really excited about Inland Empire, but I don't understand why it didn't get a 4K release when it was restored in 4K. That's a great question. That is a question I think is on a lot of people's minds. So definitely want to hear what you all think. Looking forward to Chilly Scenes of Winter. I really like John Hurd and Mary Beth Hurt. Gloria Graynham is also good in it. Yeah, I've never heard of this film, but I'm fascinated by it, and I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. I would guess it didn't get a 4K release because it was filmed in 720p or something close to that quality level. Yeah. Yeah. When we get to Inland Empire, we'll look at the specs that they're laying out. And I think that'll give us an indication of why perhaps it is not getting a 4K release or it appears to not be getting one at this point. Greetings from Edmonton. Hello. Greetings, Chris. Hope you are doing well up there in Edmonton, Canada. See, what movies are you excited to see next year in theaters? Me, interesting. That is a great question. That is a great question, actually. I don't have on my radar what is coming out. As I think back to last year at this time, sitting here, I was excited about Nope coming out. I think at this time last year, but I don't have my radar on what's actually coming out next year. Is the funny thing. I think isn't the next John Wick chapter coming out? That would probably be one, but I can't think of anything else that I'm super excited about that's coming out. I do know that Avatar is coming out tomorrow, and I put a poll out on my community tab asking the excitement level. For me personally, I'm really not there. So I'm kind of waiting to see if the reviews are up there. But let me know. Are y'all excited about Avatar? Are y'all excited about Babylon? What are y'all excited about that's coming out this Christmas season? And what are y'all excited about coming out next year? Let me know. I really wish Criterion would re-release The Killer and Hardboiled in 4K as well as Barry Levinson's Diner. Who knows? Fingers crossed. So you saw Mildred Pierce earlier this year and really enjoyed it. Was not expecting a 4K upgrade. Yeah, that's the thing. It really is fascinating to me. See, I was not expecting this to be upgraded to 4K at all. I mean, so that's in some ways that's kind of good news because it makes me think, hey, Criterion's going to be, upgrading some more of their titles. So that is good to know. So it'll be interesting to see what other surprises we're going to get in 2023 as far as Criterion upgrades of existing Blu-rays to 4K in their existing catalog and what new titles they're going to bring to us. So it's all exciting news. Same art, same features. Blu-ray was off resolution, 4K resolution. Very little reason for anyone to upgrade if they have the Blu-ray disc. Okay. Oh, you mean on Mildred Pierce? Okay. Yep. Criterion seems to exclude Dolby Vision with their black and white 4K releases. Yeah, it's interesting. I think on Double Indemnity, I think they did have Dolby Vision on that one, I believe. But yeah, that's something to keep an eye out for. Going to throw out this suggestion. Would love if Criterion would put out Talk of the Town, Jean Arthur, Cary Grant, Ronald Coleman, outstanding picture that has no Blu-ray release. Okay, interesting. That's interesting to hear. So yeah, if it has Cary Grant and Jean Arthur, that hey, I'd be all for that. You know, I haven't seen Last Hurrah, but I'd probably blind buy this one. Yeah, I blind buy a lot of Criterion. I'll just be honest with you, and I have been extremely happy with most of it. Like the Velvet Underground this week, folks. I'm telling you, that's one of the best additions to come out from Criterion in 2022. Now, I'm going to be putting out my top 10 favorite Criterion Collection releases of the year the week after Christmas. And the Velvet Underground, I don't know if it's going to crack the top 10, but I got to tell you, it will very likely get an honorable mention at the very least. That's how good that release is. Todd Haynes has put together a great work of art with that title. It's a music documentary unlike any other. I love music documentaries like Give Me Shelter, The Last Waltz. This is another one of those types of releases from Criterion. And Todd Haynes took a unique approach to the imagery that he presented in that film. And in addition to telling the story of the band, the Velvets, that I just love, So it's good stuff. I'm currently watching Last Hurrah for Chivalry. If you're a fan of nonstop action, check it out. Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm down for that. John Woo box set is long overdue. The Killer, Hard Boiled, A Bullet in the Head, A Better Tomorrow. I would pay whatever they charge for that. That sounds like a great idea. It really does. Culture Trini says I have the Eureka release of Last Hurrah. Cool. Yeah, Hard Boiled and The Killer are in rights hell due to the studio that's been out of business for ages, Golden Princess. Ah, it's in the air what will happen. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully. That can get resolved. Last Hurrah's on the Criterion channel, by the way. Okay. So Hunter has seen Chilly Scenes of Winter, and it's a really good film. John Hurt is great in it. Okay. It's good to know. As for Inland Empire, I'm assuming Criterion or David Lynch didn't feel it was necessary, especially seeing the restoration was AI upscaled from a digital SD 480 source. Yeah, it just could be a source issue that just might some films are just not necessarily well suited for the 4K format to be able to take advantage of 4K in terms of the resolution and HDR. Some films are just not shot in a way that facilitates making it worth the jump to 4K, and that could be the case for the Inland Empire. I'm not sure. Oh, I love Inland Empire. It's a bizarre and surreal journey, and it's one of my favorites from Lynch. What about you? I have not seen Inland Empire, but I'm very much looking forward to watching it. I would say that for me, my favorites from Lynch in terms of films overall would have to be certainly uh, Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway, and I think the third would be The Elephant Man in terms of just quality films, his top films in my mind. Blue Velvet's also very good. But Lynch is a different type of storyteller for sure. So he's not for everybody, that's for sure. Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon is one of 2023 titles I'm really excited for. Awesome. Did not care for Avatar at all. Yeah. Now, are you talking about the new Avatar or the first one? Because for me, I liked the first Avatar. I didn't go crazy over it like everybody else. I mean, so many other people did. But for me, I was kind of one and done. I've seen it and I'm glad I saw it. It was technically impressive and I'm kind of done with it. I actually bought it on Blu-ray and I think to myself, why'd I do that? Because I don't really ever need to see that film again. And I'm not really excited about the sequel. Now, again, I liked Avatar. I think it's an absolutely fantastic film, but it's not a film that I see myself revisiting very often. And my interest level in the sequel is kind of on the low side, like kind of like where Zero is, kind of like a little bit below that. But anyway, uh, all that's left for Lynch that could maybe come to Criterion is the straight story. Dune has a good 4K from Arrow, and Wild at Heart is a Shout Select title. Okay. Yeah, I've heard some, you know, talk of the straight story. I think Disney has that. So we'll see. James, hope you're doing well and in good health. I am feeling much better than I was about a week and a half ago. So thank you very much. Excited about Inland Empire. Lynch is my favorite director, so it's a must own. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Lynch's films are fantastic. I saw The Lost Highway for the first time with that 4K release. That's another release, folks. That's one of the best releases of the year. It doesn't crack my top 10, but is actually in that honorable mention category. It is fantastic. And there's some really good information in there that gives you a little bit more insight into the movie. But I mean, it looks great, sounds great, and there's some really nice special features on that Lost Highway 4K edition. So definitely check that one out. Inland Empire isn't getting a digipack. It's not? Oh, okay. All right. Recently made a huge decision that I believe Fire Walk with Me is my second favorite film of all time, and I genuinely considered it being my number one. Okay, cool. I need to revisit that title. I've not seen it in a long time. So I don't think Criterion has any huge releases in the first 3 months. Hopefully that changes. Yeah, there are a couple that I have my eye on, a few I have my eye on. Certainly the Three Colors trilogy, upgrade to 4K. I'm interested in the Dazed and Confused 4K, the Romeo and Juliet, the um, the Imitation of Life. I'm interested in that one. Um, but some of the others I'm going to probably hold off on for the July sale. Personally, I'm really hyped for Babylon. Me and my friends already have tickets for release date. Cool. Awesome. Not a big fan of Lynch myself. I think he's weird just to be weird, no vision that I can make out. So you see the differences. Some say he's my favorite filmmaker. Some say I'm not a big fan. That's the beautiful thing about movies. Everybody has their opinion. Some people are super excited for Avatar, through the moon, can't wait for tomorrow. Other people like myself that barely even knew it was coming out tomorrow. So it's a wide range of film tastes, and there's something for everybody, and that's the good part about it. I love the trailer. Okay, are you talking about of Babylon or of Avatar? I'll watch Avatar 2 for the 3D, but I don't have hope for the story. Titanic was Cameron's last great film. Yeah, no argument from me on that one. James, try to sell me on the Velvet Underground in one sentence. It is in one sentence, I would say it is a visual masterpiece of a rock documentary. It's a visual masterpiece rock documentary in terms of the kaleidoscopic imagery, the psychedelic imagery. It's not just a documentary that tells you about the band, but it is masterful in its imagery in helping to tell that story. And it is just fantastic. It's this band, they came together in the mid 1960s in the music scene of New York City. And wow, Todd Haynes did a masterpiece job of telling that story visually. So it's fantastic. Lou Reed music. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. Lou was one of the founding, tent pole members, along with John Cale. So I would upgrade three colors because it has both picture and sound upgrades since the Blu-ray edition only had 2.0 sound for each film. Yep. And they're just beautiful films, and I can't wait to see them in 4K. I mean, honestly, I am hoping they're massive upgrades. The rumors around the Criterion release on Amadeus seem to have gone quiet. I'm still hopeful for that one. Fingers crossed. We shall see. Never saw Mildred Pierce, but have been wanting to. How is it? Excellent. Great film. Joan Crawford is great, and Blythe is great. It is absolutely fantastic. I'm pretty sure my Michael Haneke set is coming in a few minutes. Cool. Cool. That should be awesome, Darvin. All right, folks. I'm only going to be here a few more minutes, so I do want to switch gears and go right back to the Criterion site here. And we're going to share my screen again so that we can go back and see these last two titles, wrap up your final comments, and send everybody on to their evening here as we get ready to wrap up the week. Tomorrow's Friday. Can't wait. We're getting Arrow announcements tomorrow. Arrow video announcements coming tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So looking forward to that. They've been disappointing me the last few months, so they've got some ground to make up. So hopefully their March announcements will be exciting. So fingers crossed for that. But here's David Lynch's Inland Empire. Strange What Love Does, the role of a lifetime, a Hollywood mystery, a woman in trouble. David Lynch's first digitally shot feature makes visionary use of the medium to weave a vast meditation on the enigmas of time, identity, and cinema itself. You got Laura Dern in this movie, so I'm already sold. I'm looking forward to seeing this movie. I've never seen it before. It is 180 minutes. I did not know it was 3 hours long. Spy number 1175, English and Polish. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm here for it. I mean, it looks like it has some nice features with two films from 2007, Lynch 1 and Lynch 2. New conversation between Laura Dern and Kyle MacLachlan. So that's a new interview. So looking forward to that. 75 minutes of extra scenes, a short film, Ballerina. We're also getting here reading by Lynch of excerpts from Room to Dream, his 2018 book with critic Christine McKenna. That's a pretty common feature that we're seeing on a lot of Lynch's releases. This was also on Lost Highway. It was on the Elephant Man release. It was on another release from David Lynch, and it's going to be on this Inland Empire release. So that is very interesting. But check out this here. New HD digital master made from the 4K restoration supervised by director David Lynch. We're getting 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio. So it says new HD digital master. So I don't know much about the technical side of these things. Of course, There is a 4K restoration that was done, but I just don't know if, you know, because of the visual style of this film, is that the reason why it's only offered on Blu-ray? And of course, this is another example of Blu-ray offering only. It's not, of course, on 4K, just Blu-ray, no DVD. So another example of a new Blu-ray release in Criterion that's not offering a DVD option. So, who knows? Definitely, let's keep an eye on this release and keep coming back to the Criterion site and look on the Criterion's Twitter page and for any updates on any of these releases. But as of now, it looks like this is only going to be offered on Blu-ray. But keep tabs on official information from the Criterion site on any information regarding this title. So we see here Laura Dern here and some interesting imagery. you know this is another one of those wild and crazy Lynch films. You don't know what the heck is going on. You're spending so much time trying to figure out, okay, what is happening in this movie? And this appears to be another one of those examples of you're trying to unravel the mystery of what's going on in the movie.
Evil was born and followed the boy.
Okay. Interesting. I know nothing about the film. Let me know if you all are fans of this movie, but I'm looking forward to picking up this Blu-ray if not in the month of March, during the July Barnes & Noble sale. So more to come on Inland Empire. And then to wrap up the month, coming out on March the 28th, we're getting this film, Chilly Scenes of Winter. This is from filmmaker Joan Micklin Silver. So this is a filmmaker that I am not familiar with, Joan Micklin Silver. This is the director, the new filmmaker in the Criterion Collection, and she is getting Spine 1176 for this 1979 film that is being offered on Blu-ray, no DVD option, new restored 4K digital transfer, monaural soundtrack. We got a new program featuring the producers. Got a documentary on the film from 1983, which is interesting. Excerpts from a 2005 interview with Micklin Silver and the original ending of the film. And this is basically the trailblazing Joan Micklin Silver, one of only 5 women to direct a film for Hollywood studio in the 1970s, digs fearlessly into the psychology of a thorny relationship in this anti-romantic comedy based on Anne Betty's best-selling novel about lovelorn civil servant Charles and his married but separated co-worker Laura, Mary Beth Hurt. Months after their affair has ended, Charles is haunted by memories as he desperately attempts to rekindle a love that perhaps never was. Switching deftly between past and present, Micklin Silver guides this piercing deconstruction of male wish fulfillment fantasy beyond standard movie romance tropes into something more complicated and cuttingly truthful. So, very interesting. This is a sort of a doomed relationship between these people.
What do you want?
What do I want? I want to marry Laura. That's what I want. I thought everybody knew that.
Charles loves Laura.
Okay. Interesting. I'm already pulled in, as you see some of this imagery. I love films like this from the 1970s. This is my favorite decade in cinema, and I love seeing it like seeing time capsules of that period. And this is a big part of what attracts me about this film. Of course, this is from 1979, but it's got that 70s vibe going on. So I'm already sold, and I know very little about the film. So let me know what you all think about Chilly Scenes of Winter. Now, let me go back here and let me share my screen again, and let me share IMDb here. Chilly Scenes of Winter. Of course, here's Avatar: The Way of the Way of Water is coming out tomorrow. Chilly Scenes of Winter. Let's check out this director. I am not familiar with Joan Micklin Silver, who she is, but so this is Joan Micklin Silver here. So she was a successful director working both inside and outside the Hollywood studio system. She was a true lamplighter, Garnering a steady stream of awards and box office successes, she proved herself time and again as one of the most important women directors to come out of the United States, and demonstrated that films about Jewish topics can succeed with both Jews and non-Jews alike. Based in New York, where she lived for many decades, and it goes on and on. She passed away in 2020. So I guess she was roughly 65 years old, and she passed away a couple years ago. But this is, or I'm sorry, not doing my math here, 85 years old. So bless her heart. So this is the filmmaker who has given us chilly scenes of winter. So very much looking forward to that title from the Criterion Collection that's coming out in the month of March. So that's our slate. You know, we got Mildred Pierce coming out on 4K Ultra HD. We have the other film that's coming out, which is Last Hurrah of Chivalry by John Woo, Inland Empire from David Lynch, and Chilly Scenes of Winter, which makes up, I think, a pretty nice slate from the Criterion Collection. You know, every month, you know, people express whether they're excited about the slate. Oh, I'm disappointed. I'm stoked about it. I'm up here with it. I'm kind of down here with it. I'm fine with this slate. I think it's a nice slate of films. I'm pretty intrigued with the 4K release of Mildred Pierce. I'm looking forward to the John Woo film. I'm looking forward to that Chilly Scene of Winter film. And I'm looking forward to Inland Empire from David Lynch. I was hoping to see that come out on 4K, but there's probably reasons why it is going to be offered on Blu-ray only. So I'm looking forward to the title. I've heard interesting things about the film, so I'm looking forward to seeing it for the first time. So let's see. All right. Let's wrap up these comments, and then we're going to go ahead and head off into our Thursday evening, and I got to go pack some bags here. Michael, Victor Fleming box set, Wizard of Oz, Gone with the Wind, or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Who's not buying that? Okay, the Victor Fleming box set. As soon as I saw Andy Warhol was in Andy Velvet Underground, I was sold. We'll pick it up soon. Yes, Andy Warhol was instrumental in that group. And it was so fascinating just learning more about him. I mean, the Velvet Underground folks get it. Arrow had to regroup, too many issues with releases being recalled. Yeah, I can imagine. Hope you and your family have a Merry Christmas, James. Thanks for the great content. We'll be looking forward to your top 10 criterions of 2022 list. Absolutely. Merry Christmas to you as well, Hunter, and Merry Christmas to all of you, and happy holidays, and stay safe, everybody. I saw the Arrow leaks, not sure what your reaction will be, but I'm personally very excited for the 3 releases, especially seeing one release confirms a deal with a large US studio. Okay, I haven't seen these leaks, so I gotta get that scoop tonight. Let's see. Okay, so what are they? Yeah, that's what I want to know. Got to head out. Have a great evening, James, and everyone else. You too, Urban Excursion. Have a great one. After seeing some clips from Inland Empire's restoration, I don't think it needs to be on 4K. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Don't know if James wants to be spoiled, so I don't want to say just yet. I'm okay to be spoiled. Same with other comments on here. Can you point me to a place where I can see the leak? An Inland Empire VHS would be interesting. Sure. Only the US releases got leaked, not UK. Okay. Also, I'm tied with the 1960s and 70s for my favorite decade. Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's 70s all the way. I just looked up Joan Micklin Silver's filmography. I hope Crossing Delancey will come next. And KB, decent titles for the month. Thanks for the announcement, James. Yes, thank you. And thank you all for joining tonight. And again, thanks for joining. Hope you all have a great rest of the week. Great Friday, whether you're going to go see Avatar or whether you're going to watch some movies. Of course, what's coming up on the channel is this release, this review of Cooley High coming tomorrow on the channel. Got that review coming out on tomorrow. And very much looking forward to sharing my top 10 Criterion Collection releases of the year, my personal favorites for 2022. I'm going to be announcing those. And I'm also going to be announcing my top 10 favorite overall physical media releases of the year. It's going to include Criterion, Arrow Video, Kino Lorber studio releases. What are my top 10 favorite releases of 2022? I'm going to share those on the channel as well the week after Christmas, as well as give a preview of what's coming up in January 2023. But everybody be safe out there. Have a great rest of your week. Hope you all enjoy the Arrow announcements tomorrow and your weekend, and we'll look to see you all next time at the movies. Peace. Have a great one, everybody. And Merry Christmas.